All right, well, I'd like to do a quick video on how I prep, pre-flight, and start my little nitro engine on my vintage Cub. It may be interesting just to see the steps that we go through to keep these old guys in the air. I'm out here in my beautiful airfield that I share with some other guys. If you look straight over that hill, that's Puget Sound, Straits of Juan de Fuca, out to the ocean. And up here, up to the north, is Vancouver, Canada. And then over here to the east is, you'd have the Cascade Mountain Range over there. So you could go fishing in the ocean here, get in your car, and drive east and be skiing in about an hour and a half. But anyway, on to the task at hand. This is all the junk you have to haul around to get these planes going. And so when we start the prep, the first thing we do is we fill up the gas tank, which is right in the front. And I filled it up because I'm just by myself and it's hard to do. But you basically fill it up until the gas runs out into the muffler, because these planes don't have fuel pumps, and there's a little bleed off on the muffler, and it pressurizes the tank and it keeps the fuel flowing to the engine. So that's what we do first. And then when you put the wing on, you have to make sure to plug it into the receiver. And this is just a little pigtail right here that comes off the receiver, and I know that goes to the aileron because it's got a little A on it there. And that runs this servo up here, which is just a kind of a seesaw type of thing. So anyway, so you make sure the cord is connected, or you got big problems as soon as you take off. And you go ahead and you put the wing on, make sure it's down there, and then you, of course, you screw in your screws. And I'm gonna do this for real once I get flying here in a minute. But so you make sure the screws are down, and I've filled the plane with fuel. And now what we do is we do the first pre-check of the controls. So I'll go ahead and turn on my radio, and I like to stand behind the plane. And so this is your elevator. So as I go up and down with that, I'm kind of looking at that. So down is basically up, and when you push the stick up, the nose of the plane will want to come down. So that's working. As far as your rudder and your steering, that's this one here, and this is back and forth. And you'll use that a lot on your takeoff roll, because the torque of the engine will generally want to push the plane in one direction. So you want to make sure that's going right. And then probably the most important is your ailerons, which is on this side here, going back and forth. And the way I was taught and the way I remember is, now let me get this a little closer here, is when you push the stick to the left aileron goes up. And when you push it to the right aileron goes up. And that, so you know you're not reversed. So pushing it to the left will push this wing down, and you'll go that way. Push it to the right, we'll push that wing down, and you'll go that way. And then this last one is your throttle. And to start it, I usually put my trim all the way up and maybe a few bumps on the throttle to give it a little little juice. And then that we are set to start the engine. And I will look at my control surfaces one more time before I take off. That's just kind of standard for me. But the way these engines work is there isn't an ignition like you would have in your car where there's a little spark plug and it creates spark every time the piston comes up. These are more like diesel engines, as where there's a glow plug. And I took a glow plug out just to give you an idea of how these things work. So let me try to put that on there. So there you have your glow plug. I stuck it in and I'm going to give it a little juice, and you're going to see now that there's no color to it. Okay, let me get that a little better. So I'm going to turn up the crankage a little here, and then if you can see that, it's glowing, and that's what's generally going to start that first bump of fuel. So I'll show you how that works. Okay, so we're gonna snake this around, and we're gonna stick it on our glow plug, which is right there. That's what it looks like in the engine. Kind of locks on there. So right now well, not right now, I'll gotta turn it up. So we're gonna turn it up into the green. Okay, so right now that little glow plug is glowing hot, and it's just waiting for some fuel and compression to be entered into it. So what I'm gonna do is I will try and set the phone up here so you can see this, and I should have thought about this before. Okay, so I'll take this off once I get it started, but I have my starter here, and it's just a little electric motor, and that's going to turn the prop for me, and I have the engine set at idle. Okay, so we'll try to start it here. So now it's started. What I'll do is I'll turn it down a little. And then once it's started, you don't really need to warm it up per se. So I'm going to reach around here, take the glow plug off. Now it's just running on its own. Always go ahead and pump it up a little. Got to make sure the tail doesn't come up, but I'll hold the tail down and give it a grab. This is a very small engine, so it's not real impressive. That's basically full speed for this guy. I gotta make sure it doesn't fly off the table. bring it back down to idle. That's just kind of your idle speed when you're rolling around or landing. And this is a 4-stroke engine, so it does have, you can see the little push rod, so it's got a little deeper sound to it. That's where the true 2-strokes are going to sound a little tinnier. So, but the 4-strokes sound really good on this Cub. But anyway, we are ready to fly. We'll take her down. I'm actually not ready to fly, but I'll show you a little bit how we do it. So we put it on the ground, and then whenever you're going to taxi the airplane, you want to hold your elevator in the down position, because when you run it through the grass, it's going to want to nose over. So I got the elevator down, and it's really hard to do this. I'll try to set the phone down so you can see it. Hang on. I got the elevator held down. I'll give it a little throttle. I can turn it with the elevator. I can move it around. And that's the way we have fun at the airfield. So I'm going to tighten down that wing and go flying. Nice sunset flying day. Thank you.